Hello, good to see you again in this brand new year of 2021. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to wish you a very happy new year. I hope this new year brings peace, contentment and prosperity to you and your loved ones. I flew into the UK from Dubai over the festive period, and I wanted to take a few minutes to share some general information about my experience of travelling between Dubai and the UK during the ongoing pandemic. I flew in on the back of both the Scottish and UK governments announcing a national Tier 4 lockdown from Boxing Day onwards because of a new variant of COVID-19 having been identified and found to have originated from the south of England. It was quite a development, and some countries began to immediately close their borders to travellers from the UK. Some airlines cancelled their flights from the UK as well to try and prevent this new variant from spreading into other countries and territories. Anyway, travelling from Dubai to the UK was pretty easy and straightforward. There has been a travel corridor in place between the UK and the UAE since around November last year, and what this has meant is that there has been a free flow of air traffic between the UK and UAE with no mandatory requirements to quarantine for say 10 or 14 days. So that travel corridor has certainly made things a bit easier in terms of travelling between the two places, and from the time it was put in place, I think there has been quite a noticeable number of Brits flocking to sunny Dubai to escape gloomy lockdown in the UK. This trend might have also played out when Tier 4 was recently announced just a few weeks ago. I recall reading some comments from an Emirates spokesperson saying that their flights from the UK to Dubai were full during the Christmas and New Year period. Anyway, like I said, travelling from Dubai to the UK was easy enough. A passenger locator form needed to be filled out and completed through the gov.uk website. This was a mandatory requirement, so it is something that had to be done in advance of arriving in the UK. Helpful reminders were also given by the airline. There is a question on the form that asks if you are exempt from having to self-isolate or quarantine after arriving in the UK, and because of the UK-UAE travel corridor, UK-bound passengers can confirm their exemption from self-isolation on the form. This form then needs to be shown to UK border officials when you arrive in the UK and are clearing the border immigration desks. I arrived at DXB Terminal 3, which is the terminal for Emirates Airlines, during the middle of the night. The airport was surprisingly busier than expected, lots of people going to a lot of different places. It pretty much appeared to be business as usual. On heading into the departures hall, all passengers were given a travel hygiene kit, which contains a few face masks, some gloves, hand sanitizer and some sanitising wipes. It's a nice touch for passengers travelling with Emirates. The box says it's provided for your well-being and peace of mind along your journey, so that's cool. Moving on, I was stood in the queue to get my boarding pass and check in my hold luggage when an Emirates attendant called out for the various flights travelling to the UK. The initial thought of this being a call to come to the front of the queue to be speedily processed was quickly displaced by the attendant directing us UK-bound travellers to the new self-service terminals that have been installed for printing your boarding pass and checking in hold luggage. These are new at DXB Terminal 3 and replace the human interaction involved in getting your boarding pass and checking in your hold luggage. There were small queues for each of the self-service terminals, so it's not quite an instant process, although using them is simple enough. You simply scan your passport in, print your boarding pass and put your luggage on the belt one by one. It gets weighed, and if it's within your weight allowance, you print the luggage tags and affix them to your luggage yourself, and off it goes to meet you on the other side. A point worth highlighting on this part: weigh all your luggage in advance and make sure it is within your weight allowance. I noticed some other passengers using the self-service terminals, their luggage was too heavy and over their allowance. They had to exit from the process, go to the side, remove items, weigh their luggage at another bit, and then had to queue up again and wait for another turn to complete the process. So to save yourself such bother, just weigh all your luggage in advance and make sure it all falls within your allowance. Walking through the airport to the departure gate, the duty-free shops were open, although they were much quieter and less crowded. Perhaps a better duty-free shopping experience. On the flight, there was no social distancing as such. All seats are there to be occupied, so that is what you can expect. You can take your hand luggage as well as your food and snacks on board as usual. I saw a lady sandwiched in a middle seat asking to switch to another seat which had an empty seat next to it, the additional space clearly appealing to her. The stewardess told her that it was airline policy that they cannot permit passengers to switch to another seat, another coronavirus measure. However, if she the lady happened to switch to another seat on her own, then it was unlikely that she would be asked about it. So it was another way of saying, if you ask us to switch to another seat, we cannot say yes, but if you do it yourself, then okay. So make of that what you will. If it is something that you want to do, then apparently that is how to do it. Meals, drinks and snacks were all served on the flight as usual. The only mandatory requirement was to keep your face mask on for the duration of the flight. And that was pretty much it. Like I said, very straightforward, plain sailing travel between the UAE and the UK. Of course, when you're in the UK, then you are expected to abide by any national or local restrictions that have been put in place. I was thinking, under the UK's Tier 4 lockdown, you are technically not allowed to travel, for example, from Gretna on the Scottish border to Carlisle on the English border, a distance of around 10 miles, taking around 20 minutes or so. But you can take a flight from Scotland or England to Dubai, no bother, and vice versa. If you are thinking about travelling between Dubai and the UK during the current pandemic, then I hope this short video helps and perhaps gives you an idea on what you can expect. Stay safe, keep in touch, and see you next time.